Uh, so let's get started for my readers here. Could you tell us what Slamdance is all about?
Yeah. Slamdance is, it started out as a film festival, and in January 2014 in Park City, we're going to be celebrating our 20th edition. And we coincide with Sundance. And we started out because we didn't get our films into Sundance. We all got rejected. And we all failed then, I guess you could say. But failure can be a friend. And what we decided to do was get together as filmmakers to support each other as a community in 1995 and show our film side by side with the Sundance program. And it was very successful, and a number of the films that we showed in 1995 found distribution. And we realized that there were going to be filmmakers like us, first-time filmmakers, hadn't got distribution for their films, that were looking for exposure, distribution, attention, that were going to want a similar showcase. And that's why we then decided to continue Slamdance as a showcase then for emerging talent. And over the years, I think that we've shown that as filmmakers coming together, that we've been successful in being able to launch many filmmakers' careers. There are some very well-known filmmakers that have come through Slamdance that first showed their films. Christopher Nolan, for example, with Following. We premiered his film in 1999. The Russo brothers, who have just made Captain America, we showed their first film. Ben Zeitlin, who made Beasts of the Southern Wild, we showed his first films. The list is endless. It's actually a very long list now. And that's why we started Slamdance, and that's why we continue to do it. And it's more of it is a festival. It's also other things these days. It's a year-round organisation that takes films out on the road. That the best of the festival, if you like, around the States and also internationally. It also has a distribution business as well, where we take Slamdance films and distribute them commercially. It also has a very popular screenplay competition. And but we stayed true to our roots throughout all of this growth. And we are an organisation which we like to say is by filmmakers for filmmakers. Filmmakers that program the festival still. And that's what we're about to see. And Slamdance 2014, our 20th edition, a very exciting program that has been formed then by filmmakers that have taken part in Slamdance before.
Are you going to be doing anything different for this special 20th anniversary of Slamdance?
Well, they're going to, obviously there's a celebration, which we're really looking forward to, and a lot of the well-known alumni are coming to the festival. So I mentioned to you the Russo brothers, Anthony and Joe. Their story is really interesting, really, because in 1997, when they showed their film pieces, they made this raw, low-budget film. Didn't have any distribution at the time. It was a world premiere. And Steven Soderbergh came to see their film. He's a Slamdance alumni. And he liked what they had done. And he called them and he said, I'd like to help you make your next film. Would you like that? And of course they did. And that's exactly what he did do. And it's an example, really, of how important alumni are to our organisation. And now the Russo brothers, they'll be at Slamdance this year. And they're now helping other Slamdance filmmakers themselves. They're now in a position where they can actually bring in new filmmakers on projects that they are producing and support them. And so it's great then to see filmmakers like Joe and Anthony Russo at Slamdance this year. There'll be several others as well. So that's different for this year, because we don't normally see all of our, as many really well-known alumni come out for the festival. They support us year-round in other ways, but they often don't have the time to be able to come out to each of the festivals. But because it's our 20th anniversary, many of them will be there. But I think also what's really important to sort of say here is that I think that all of us, every day we face kind of the celebrity culture. This is a culture which is, for an independent filmmaker who is unknown at the time, very difficult to compete with. You want to have your film stand apart then within the entertainment industry. You've got something to say. You want it to be seen. It's very difficult to do that when you're not well known and don't have a well-known cast in your film.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the ways that Slamdance has been able to help these filmmakers, because with our brand, with our showcase, with what we stand for, we stay true to our roots. We've been able to then help those filmmakers stand out and give them a platform that they otherwise would not have. So it's also important to say here that we stay true, and we'll carry on staying true to our roots and what we stand for with that. So some things then don't change, and I don't think should change in the future because of where we've come from.
Now, has any it sounds like this is a great launching pad for future directors, but have any films ever got a major distribution from Slamdance?
Oh yeah, many. The biggest is perhaps the very biggest in the world that you could ever think of, which is Paranormal Activity. It's become Paramount's most profitable franchise in their entire history. Oren Pellin's Paranormal Activity premiered at Slamdance, and it was acquired out of the festival. And as we all know now, it has formed this huge juggernaut of a movie franchise for a studio. But when we met Oren, he just made this $10,000 picture, Paranormal Activity, the first one, and he was unknown. No one knew him, and he came to the festival. His film attracted a lot of attention and was picked up. But we knew that we were onto something with Paranormal Activity when one of the programmers came in and they said, "I couldn't watch this film last night. I had to watch it in daylight." When a programmer is telling you that after so many films that they're watching, you know that is a standout film. So that film was programmed, and of course, as we know, as they say, the rest is history. But there have been many examples of films then that have been picked up at the festival. A documentary, Mad Hot Ballroom, that also became a very profitable documentary for a studio. Each year now, films are picked up from the festival, acquired for distribution. In fact, last year we had a majority of our films found distribution out of the competition, which was the first time that's happened. But each year there are major acquisitions of stand-up films.
And how many films will be featured this year?
Nearly 100. We have 93 films. The festival, made from all around the world. We received over 5,000 submissions. And our programmers, filmmakers themselves, as I was mentioning to you, they decide. No one person has any bigger vote than anyone else. And we try and create a level playing field for all of our filmmakers that submit by watching the films at least twice. And making sure that that everything is carefully discussed with a lot of passion, usually, and then all those decisions are made towards the end of the programming of the programming period. So we invite no film beforehand. All of our films are made selected from blind submissions. And what we try and do here is then simply give, whoever it may be around the world, a fair chance of being able to make it into Slamdance. And that's another reason why we came about, because we felt at the time that the system that was in place was skewed. It was very difficult as a new filmmaker to get noticed. By Chris Nolan, for example, I mean, it's amazing to think that even Chris Nolan struggled to get his first film notice, but he did.
Mm-hmm.
And we provided him, a platform, a showcase then for him to first show his work, and that's what we're about.
Wow, that's actually very impressive. Now, how is the final selection at the end of Slamdance for the final awards are selected? Is that with a panel of judges?
Yeah, we have a jury. We have jury awards, and our jury prize is called a Sparky. A Sparky is a dog statuette, and we didn't want to have something as grand as an Oscar, but we didn't want to have something as flat as a plaque. So when I was doing a photographic job in southeast Turkey, and I came across this kind of this mongrel plastic dog wolf toy, which had fallen down off its table in a muddy puddle. And so I picked it up, I bought it, and I came back, and I was going to give it to my godson as a present because it's a very happy looking chap. And in the end, I decided to cast it into an award for Slamdance filmmakers called a Sparky, and that's what we give out each year. So there are jury prizes for Sparkies, and there's also audience award prizes as well, where very simply the audience then chooses their favorite film.
Now, is your film festival getting bigger and bigger each year?
Well, when we first started, we got 48 submissions, and now for this year's festival, we received over 5,000 submissions. This year, in 2013, with our screenplay competition, we now received over 7,500 submissions. So that is an indication of how popular it's become for independent filmmakers. But in terms of its attention, press attention, industry attention, yes, it does get bigger every year. But what's really important to us is the size, the physical size, has actually been kept relatively small. And we've done that because it's very important that we foster each year a filmmaking community, a real one that really does together, because we need those filmmakers to come back and help program the film festival, to give something back to a community that they should shape and continue to shape and regenerate what we're doing every year. That's really important to us. And again, that's got a lot to do with our mantra, by filmmakers for filmmakers. If we grew our venue and we had more films with more filmmakers, we would start to lose that connection, that physical connection. And I think that Slamdance then would be the worse off for that. But a lot of its strength has, as I said, come from its community, and it's a very close-knit one. And that's why we're all, centered at the top of Main Street in Park City, at the Treasure Mountain Inn, where we can all come together and share with our audience and with one another our films and get to know one another.
If the size is actually getting bigger, aren't you afraid that like Sundance's Hollywood connections would take over eventually?
No, I'm not, because now that we've got 20 years under our belt, I think the industry knows now who we are and what we stand for, and they've seen that we haven't wavered on that, and I think that we found respect through that. As I was mentioning before, we're quietly determined to be recognized for who we are and not get involved with celebrity culture. That's not Slamdance. That's not who we are. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But for us to support our new filmmakers, we need to stand. We need to stand up to something that we really believe in and not waver from that. And I'm pretty certain that won't change. And while the filmmakers themselves are in charge of that, who believe in that too, I think that it will. I think it will carry on.
Terrific. And if the public wants to attend, where can they actually see these films, and how much would it cost the public?
Yeah, thank you. So on our site right now, Slamdance.com, there's already a program schedule up there where you can actually buy tickets. And you'll go to Slamdance.com and then the film festival section, and then you'll be able to click onto the tickets that you want for your films. You can see the descriptions and so on. Also, there are a few passes left as well, so you can see everything, get into our parties. But the secret at Slamdance, by the way, I guess it's not a secret now if I'm telling you that, but the best value that we have is that if you're a student, buy a student pass, because we want students to see Slamdance films. We want them to get that experience, and you can see every single Slamdance film for $125. Now, there are not many of those left, but those are still available online. And we really don't have very many left, but that is a great way to see Slamdance films if you're a student.
Do the students get to interact with these aspiring directors too?
Yeah, well, that's why we really encourage that, because they may be at film school and sort of learning about filmmaking, but there's nothing quite like being up close and personal with filmmakers and hearing about how they actually made their films. It's a great learning experience.
That sounds terrific. And in the future, for aspiring filmmakers, if they want to submit to Slamdance, how would they do that?
Through our website again, Slamdance.com, and you go to the film festival section site, and you'll be able to see the submission information, and that's how they would do that.
Terrific. And is there any films, in your opinion, that it's a must-see for sure? I know it's a lot of films for anybody to check out. That's 93 films.
Yeah, well, there are many films that I recommend, and I'm one of the programmers. So I always feel it's unfair for me to answer that question, because we all are passionate about our, the program that we have. But I think what's interesting here, and I'm going to half answer your question, is that, when we started at Slamdance, the American independent film movement was really getting going. And it kind of led the way, I think, for 10 years or so. But what we've been seeing recently is filmmakers from around the world embracing this whole DIY approach to filmmaking, do it yourself, not asking for permission, paying for the productions themselves, utilizing then all the modern technology, which has got greater and also less expensive to be able to craft these independent films. So now we're seeing a lot of really great interest coming from Central, South America, and also Europe. And these films are represented at the festival this year. So we have this film, Rosetta. I'm not sure whether Annie or Mel told you about it. It's a wonderful example of a really well-crafted, low-budget, independent film.
Great. Hey, just out of curiosity, are a lot of these world premieres that are at your film festival?
Yeah, most of them are world premieres, and for many filmmakers, it's the first time they've been to a film festival.
Wow, that's very impressive. I can't wait to check out some of your films. And just one more time, I'm just wrapping it up. When's the date and place for the Slamdance?
Yeah, Slamdance 20 takes place on it begins on January the 17th, and it ends on January the 23rd. And the festival takes place in Park City in Utah, and we're at the top of Main Street at Treasure Mountain Inn.
Terrific. Hey, I thank you, and I appreciate the interview today.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate it too.
Okay. And good luck with the festival.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.